are here in Sindola, in the Gambia, doing a movement induction course for the newly elected board members of the Gambia Red Cross Society. This is actually really an important moment for us, because this is one of the only time where we can meet in the tranquility of a meeting room, both the National Society and the international components, the ICRC and the IFRC, the International Federation of Red Cross Red Crescent.
For the International Committee of the Red Cross, the ICRC, the movement induction course is a key component to preparing board members of the National Society with regard to understanding their roles and their responsibility as the governance of a national society.
Governing Board Orientation Movement Induction course. It's a pleasure, and it's been a successful 2 days, and we have 1 day to go. Now, bringing together a dynamic group of governing board members who were just elected at the last General Assembly last December. It's really something that management has been looking forward to, in the sense that in order to have a strong national society, you need a strong management and a strong governance. And I think this is the beginning of having a well-placed and well-prepared and well-oriented and a focused governance of the Gambia Red Cross.
So in the course of the 3 days, we'll be discussing a number of topics. We'll first do a broad presentation of what the movement is, what our principles are, and above all, how do we coordinate together, how do we work together. On day number 2, we've been reviewing how the movement, the international movement of Red Cross Red Crescent functions. We've been revising our strategies and our policies as well. Now with this new board, the Gambia Red Cross is well prepared to face the future challenges in terms of humanitarian challenges for the Gambia.
This is an important milestone for us as the new board of the Gambia Red Cross Society, because to do your job better, to be effective and efficient, you have to know your job, know your limits, the do's and the don'ts. Like we said, when we take over the responsibility, we know what we want, but we need to know the policies, the procedures, the resource available, and moving forward.
This orientation has served as a platform to better understand the responsibilities as a board member of the Gambia Red Cross Society. As before coming to this orientation, I had a little knowledge of the responsibilities of a board member as far as I am concerned. I was more focused on youth activities, youth development, but with this training, I made to understand exactly what the board is all about, our responsibilities as board members, our importance to the national society.
So during the course of the week, we explored a number of topics. To begin with, we talked about the different components of the movement and what it is exactly each of us does. So we talked about the ICRC and the mandate of the ICRC and the different situations where the ICRC can actually work and how it works and why it works the way it does. We also talked about the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies and how they act as a federation, as a secretariat for national societies around the planet. Last but not least, of course, we talked also about the National Society and the example, of course, being the Gambia Red Cross Society. During the course of the second day, we actually also talked about the protection of the emblems of the movement, the Red Cross, the Red Crescent, and the Red Crystal. And we talked about how those emblems are used. They're used to protect, they're also used to indicate that certain people or certain things actually belong to the movement. In addition, we also took the rules and the theory about the movement and how we work, and we put it into practice through case studies, and we had group work where members actually had the chance to apply the theory that they had heard into real case studies to see how the principles actually take shape on the ground. To do this, we actually had the benefit of people who are members of the board who are not new to the movement, who have much experience and thus brought their field experience to bear in these case studies and in sharing with their peers.
Before coming to this induction training of the new board of the Gambia Red Cross, it was difficult for me to identify the thin line that is binding governance and management. We had deliberations on several topics that are very new and will be very helpful when I go back to my branch. We had group works, work with other group members from different regions. We share ideas on how to grow the national society together, bring in new policies, and to identify the strategies on how they are going to be implemented.
As a youth leader, humanitarian diplomacy is something that I believe has been a very good topic of discussion during this orientation, wherein we are trained as young people on how to respond to issues, how to discuss diplomatically to bring about some decisions that will be of interest to the national society.
The movement induction course is a way to equip board members with the tools that they need in order to ensure that the national society is actually grounded on the tenets and the fundamental principles which guide our movement. The ICRC has been in existence for 160 years, and today, in fact, when we began the course 2 days ago, what I saw was really the fruit of an idea that began 160 years ago. And I see that the board members and the branch members who are here with us today, they came into this induction course with a lot of enthusiasm, with a spirit of engagement, and with a real desire to understand better and to actually take something out of this week and to take it back into the work that they do. This is not a course that is just about theory. It's a course that actually looked at exchanges in terms of our experiences as different components of the movement in order to bring to the table a better understanding among each one of us, each of these three components, what it means to actually work together to assist and to protect the people in the communities that we serve.
We have a group of very diverse people here at the Gambia Red Cross, coming from very different backgrounds. They're all professionals, highly skilled in the corporate and private sector. The idea is to bring them the humanitarian flavor of the Red Cross. So some of them had a lot of experience at the branch level or at the headquarter level, but now the idea is to bring everybody to the same level. And that will be a long journey, a learning journey that we will join to which we will join the Gambia Red Cross.
This orientation has been organized by the movement. These are the movement partners, including the Gambia Red Cross, the ICRC, and the International Federation of Red Cross, both in terms of resourcing to hold the orientation, but also facilitation. And we have a very rich facilitation and input from facilitators, both those who are on the ground from the ICRC and IFRC, but also online, those who cannot be here from Nairobi or from Dakar. And that has provided the richness of the experience and the material that have been provided during this orientation. So I think this is also a demonstration of how the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement work as a movement that complements each other in delivering what is expected. And we hope this will bring a very strong management on the one hand, but on the other hand, a very strong and well-oriented governance.
We will continue to support this board throughout the next 4 years. Each time it will be necessary through different courses, leadership courses, but as well we will continue to support the national society development. We will continue to support the volunteering, the resource mobilization, the humanitarian diplomacy, and many other things.
To extend appreciation to the IFRC and the ICRC for the support, and also the board members for taking time of their busy work to be at the program. Thank you.